Hi, this is Tara and this is Joey, who I think he wanted to be in this video as well, as you will see. This is my yoga class focusing on ankles, feet and calves. I hope you find it useful. I've kept it short so you can fit it in anytime at your home. You don't need anything complicated for this. You need a mat, but if you don't have a mat, you can use a towel. And you need a small towel. So I'm sure you have one of those at your home. And if you have a block, that would be great, but if you don't worry, you can always grab a book or something else of this shape. I hope you enjoy the class. Let me know how you get on. And please, don't worry if you're not flexible. Yoga is for everyone. Give it a go and enjoy what you do. Sitting comfortably. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, take the hands back down the sides of the body. Inhale, lengthen and lift through the crown of your head. Exhale, bringing the shoulders down away from your ears and hands back down by your sides. Inhale, warming up the whole body with your breath. Exhale, grounding down and preparing for your practice. Moving onto all fours, have your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, open your shoulders, stretch your chest, look up. Exhale, navel towards your spine, tailbone down, gaze between your legs. Synchronize this movement with your breath and feel this wave traveling from the lower back all the way up to your shoulders and your neck, warming up your spine. As you can see, Joey loves to get my attention even when I'm doing yoga. It's actually great practice for me to stay focused on what I'm doing. Last inhale and exhale in this posture before returning to a neutral spine. Energize and wake up your feet by tapping them onto the mat. Hook your toes under and walk your hands slowly back. Feel a stretch in your toes. Roll a little from side to side. If it feels okay, come all the way up and begin to roll your shoulders. Being on your toes like this can be quite an intense stretch, so just be mindful that you're not doing anything that's uncomfortable or that's giving you pain. Take your hands and support your lower back. Open up your chest, shoulders rolling back, stretching into your pectoralis major muscles. Then as you exhale, suck the navel right in towards your spine and open it into the mid-back, lengthening your neck. Coming back onto all fours, take your right leg and stretch it all the way behind you, pressing through the heel. This is going to really open and lengthen into your calf muscles. Switch over, change to the left side. Press the heel right back. Hold the navel in towards your spine. Keep the spine long. Hook your toes under and lift your hips up. Lengthening through the backs of your legs, come up onto your toes and then press down through the heels. Notice the stretch through the hamstrings and the calf muscles. Walk out your knees, full range of movement, lengthening, stretching into the lower back, hips and legs. Mindfully walk your hands back towards your feet, keeping your knees soft, staying in your forward fold and rocking gently forward and backwards onto your toes and then back onto your heels. rising all the way up to standing. Feet hip distance apart and parallel, step forward with your right foot. Your stance should be big enough that you feel a stretch through the backs of your legs, but short enough that you can keep both of your heels down on the floor. Both the legs are long and straight. If you would like to intensify the stretch, take a block or a book and place it under the front of your foot, still keeping both of your legs long and straight. On your exhales, if it feels comfortable, you can slowly begin to take the chest down towards your thigh and take the hands away and place them either on your shin or reach towards the floor or hold onto the block. Curling the toes back towards you will also really intensify this stretch. We can easily get tight calf muscles, and we don't really even notice until we stretch them out. Daily activities like walking or wearing high heels can give you tight muscles. But also overtraining and working hard in the gym, especially running, jumping, things like boxing, tennis, football, all add to tight calves. Step back, parallel feet. Externally rotate your right foot and place it either above or below the knee on the left leg. Open up your hip, contract your glutes, lengthen the tailbone, and strengthen your abdominals. Press your hands together, open the collarbones wide. You will feel a gentle stretch into your foot as it presses against the leg, and an opening into your hips. Bring the hands up and open them out to the sides, bringing the thumb and the index finger together. Stepping back, inhaling and exhaling, folding forwards and walking out both your hands and your feet until you come into a comfortable plank position. Feeling your feet and your calf muscles by rocking forward onto your toes and then pressing back through the heels. Take your knees down and sit back into your child's pose, having a rest. Coming back onto all fours, take your right leg, stretch it out behind you, press into your toes and stretch through your heel, pushing back. Switch over, extend the left leg, press through the heel, push through the toes and lengthen. Hook your toes under, press your hips upwards, up onto your toes, down through the heels. On the toes, down through the heels. Bend your knees alternately. I'm hoping that the backs of your legs are beginning to feel a bit looser now. Walk your hands back towards your feet, bend your knees and slowly rise up to a standing position. Parallel feet. This time stepping forward and then your left leg comes to the front. Hands on your hips. This is your pyramid pose again, but on the left side. Bringing your block or your book, if you would like to place that under the front of your foot, curling your toes back when you're ready. Both of your heels should be pressing into the mat. Your hips facing forward. And if it feels okay, you can bring your hands down to the block or rest them on your shin. This can be a really intense stretch. Observe your breathing. Feel your inhale and your exhale. There's no need to force anything. Just work on your stretches gradually. Rising up, step your feet together and keeping them parallel. This time, externally rotate your left foot and place it on the right leg, either above or below the knee. Feel the hips are open, glutes are tightened, and abdominals are switched on. Balancing can be quite challenging, so if you do wobble or fall out of this asana, don't worry, just get straight back into it and start again. Tree pose is great for strengthening the standing leg, opening up your hips, challenging your balance and stretching into your foot. Reset yourself, positioning your feet parallel. Sit your hips back, reaching your arms forward, lengthen your tailbone and hold your abdominals strong. Feel the stretch in your feet. Press down your big toes and notice how this engages with your inner thigh. Rise up onto your toes, keeping that balance, and then pressing the hips back. Strong center. This chair pose on your toes is really wonderful for strengthening your ankles and the arches of your feet. Lower your heels down, bring your hands to your hips, working on a few heel raises to strengthen your calves and ankles. Inhaling, reaching your arms up over your head, and exhaling, floating all the way down. Walking your hands and your feet, adjusting yourself into a really strong plank. Rolling forward and backwards through the toes and heels. Holding your plank strong. Then drive the hips upwards and backwards. Lift the right leg up into the air, keeping the hips at the same level, and then take a huge step with the right foot to the front of the mat. Adjust yourself into this low lunge, pressing through that back heel and keeping the leg long. Feel an opening into your hips, shoulders down away from your ears. Plant your left foot 45 degrees and open up your arms into Warrior Two. Then, externally rotate both your feet and bend your knees so they come over your ankles. I've turned this around so you can see what I'm doing. Rise up onto your toes, lifting up your heels from the mat while keeping your knees bent and spine long, your shoulders over your hips. Rise up onto both of your toes and hold the balance, pressing your hands together. Release your heels down. Pitch the body forwards. Take the hands to your knees. Press down your right shoulder and look over your left. Press down your left shoulder and look up over your right shoulder. Taking the hands down in between your legs and the weight goes over to the right side, bringing the toes back on the left leg and straightening the leg. Keeping your shoulders open, glide over to the other side, bringing the toes back, feeling an amazing stretch through your hips and through the backs of your legs, and especially your calves here. Hands come down. Turning your feet parallel, stretch through the backs of your legs, walking your hands through. Right hand on your hip, left hand on your hip, rising up, and stepping back with your feet parallel. Inhaling, exhaling, folding forward, walking your hands and your feet so you're once again into your very strong, stable plank. Roll forwards, roll back, pressing through your heels. Drive your hips up and back, this time lifting your left leg up into the air, hips one level, and stepping all the way through to this low lunge. Getting that right leg long, pressing through the heel. Notice the stretch in the back of your leg and in your hip flexors. Turn and plant your right foot 45 degrees, bend that front leg and open up into your warrior two. Externally rotating both the feet, bend the knees, bring your hands together. Roll up through your heels onto your toes, feeling that stretch and strength work through your feet and ankles. Sit right down, keeping the tailbone long, shoulders over your hips. Pitch the body forwards, hands on knees. Twist, pressing the right shoulder down, looking over the left. And then twist, pressing the left shoulder down, looking over the right. Transfer the weight over to the right leg. Bring the toes back on the left leg and lengthen the leg. Move over to the other side, lengthening, stretching the right leg, toes back. Center, parallel feet. Stretch through the backs of your legs, hamstrings, calves, feet. Walking your hands through, lift your hips up. Slowly, using the strength of your abdominals, making your way back up. Standing back with your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head, and exhale, folding forwards, coming down, walking your hands and feet into your plank. Strong core. Roll forwards and then back through your heels. Lift your hips up and back into Parvatasana, your mountain pose. Gently drawing the heels down and then lifting up for your right leg, keeping the hips level and stepping that right leg all the way through into your lunge. Rising up, moving into your warrior one, place your hands on your hips to feel that they're facing the front. Plant both feet down into the mat and then bend that front knee while lengthening the back leg. Taking the arms over the head and framing the face. Interlace the fingers behind your back, roll open the shoulders and lift your chest. Keep the front leg bent so it tracks over your ankle while pressing through that back heel. Notice the stretch through your calves. Stepping yourself back. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down either side of your feet and then walking into your plank. Planks are really amazing for your core. Press back into Parvatasana, mountain pose. This time lifting your left leg up, keeping the hips level, and then stepping through into your low lunge, planting the right foot 45 degrees, hands on hips, warrior one. Bend the front leg, press through that back leg so it's long and straight. Arms come up over the head, shoulders down away from the ears. Interlace the fingers behind you. Open up your heart center. Keep bending that front knee and pressing through that back heel. Feel the back calf lengthening as you press down the heel. Stepping back with your feet hip distance. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, taking the hands down and walking your hands and your feet back into your final plank for today. Knees down. Take a rest in your child's pose. Big inhale. Exhale. Swing your legs around and come to a seated position. This is the perfect time to grab your towel. It's great to use a towel in this next stretch as it helps to bring the toes back towards you. So take the towel and hook it on the bottom of the feet. Hold it with both your hands. Lengthen your spine, open your collarbones wide, and glue your sit bones down into the mat. Lengthen your spine, keep the collarbones wide, and start to shuffle your hips back, gluing your ischium, your sit bones, down into the mat. As you pull on the towel, bring your body forwards. Keep lengthening through the backs of the legs, walking the hands further down the towel with your exhales, and bringing the toes back towards you. You will feel a stretch through your hamstrings, your calves, the soles of your feet. Keep focusing on your inhales and your exhales. Keeping your back as straight as possible, fold forward and reach your arms, taking the soles of your feet with your fingertips, or reaching your knees or reaching your shins. Work with a stretch that suits you. No need to push or force anything. Our next posture, which is hero pose, really stretches the ankles. Depending how your knees and ankles are, you might like to try this just on the one leg. You can also do hero pose with or without a block. Without the block, you sit the seat down in between your feet. With the block, sitting on the block, and this raises up your hips and makes it more comfortable for your knees and your ankles. There's much less pressure. Today I'm doing this without the block, sitting in between my feet, bringing my hands together, lengthening my spine, opening my collarbones, lifting through the crown of my head. If you would rather, you can take your hands onto your knees, palms facing up. Feel a gentle stretch for your feet and legs. This is our last posture today. So calming the body down with deep inhales and exhales. Stretch out your legs and come to a lying down position, lying supine on your mat, so on your back. Close your eyes. Have your hands by your sides, palms facing up, feet flopping out to the sides. Try to be here for a few minutes. Enjoy the relaxation. You deserve it.